The banning of all international passenger flights from the 25th of March dealt a big blow to the national carrier. The subsequent cessation of movements to or out of Nairobi and 3 coastal counties early in April meant cessation of all domestic flights, most of which originated or terminated in the said counties. As such, KQ has been left out of business given the coronavirus pandemic, now having to seek ways to remain operational. This is a flight to London carrying agricultural produce and flowers. In a normal time, the Dreamliner would be carrying passengers to London, but on this day, the cabin has been taken over by 20 tons of vegetables and flowers. In the aircraft's belly, up to 40 tons of cargo can fit, meaning the plane can lift up to 60 tons.
What we have on the seats here is basically the same weight, passenger weight. We don't exceed that. So that after the crisis, we'll still need this aircraft to carry our passengers.
In 2018, 4.84 million passengers were ferried by KQ to different destinations and more than 64,000 tons of cargo. With nearly 80% of the revenue source now unavailable and economies crushed by the coronavirus, KQ has been left to scavenge for opportunities. Transport CS James Macharia says KQ is filling a gap after most European airlines grounded their operations, yet cargo movement remains a need. KQ has 40 operational aircrafts, 8 of them Dreamliners, at the moment in possession of 7. CS Macharia told Citizen TV that 650 tons of cargo are available for lifting every week from Nairobi. And while KQ may use part of its 7 Dreamliners fleet to move it, it's not enough, explaining why Ethiopian Airlines had been allowed to ferry part of the cargo. The CS saying, quote, Ethiopian Airlines has been licensed to temporarily convert passenger fleet to carry cargo. We don't want any cargo, flowers and vegetables left behind, end of quote. KQ has been facing challenges after 360 members of its staff were put in quarantine after returning to the country in the weeks leading to the early cases of COVID-19 in the country. CS Macharia says only 11% from a recent flight to Dubai now remain in quarantine, most of the rest already cleared to resume duty.
We've been quarantining at home, but for today, or for this time, we are able to continue with cargo transport. In
the financial year ending December 2018, Kenya Airways made 95.1 billion shillings from passenger services. Only 8.4 billion shillings was raised from cargo. The national carrier made a loss of 7.5 billion shillings, with the fortunes now appearing to dwindle with the global pandemic.
Or even the biggest airlines in the world, British Airways, American Airlines, all of them are struggling tremendously because we all, our fixed costs are very high. Your plane is sitting on the ground, flying or sitting on the ground. It doesn't matter. It costs a lot of money. Okay, Kenya Airways is starting from a difficult situation already, and now it's even more precarious.
KQ has since announced salary cuts for its workers, most of whom have been required to take unpaid leave given the drastic reduction in business opportunities. Sam Gituku, Citizen TV, Nairobi.